Hello, this is Rose Diamond from Tribe in Transition, and this is the fourth in a series of short videos exploring the transformational power within grief and loss. And today I want to talk about emptiness. Emptiness is one of those words which has been made bad in our culture, a bit like grief and death. It's, people often think about emptiness as a feeling of lack that goes with that. We talk about, is the glass full, half full, or is it half empty? With the implication that fullness is good and emptiness is bad. But I would like to propose today that there is a form of emptiness which is incredibly positive and life-giving and valuable, but often that we can't get to that fertile, full state of emptiness, which I'll explain later, before we go through that lacking state of emptiness. It's a bit like the difference between loneliness and solitude. I'm sure you've been lonely in your life. We all get lonely. Even if you're in a relationship, it's possible to be lonely. In fact, that can be one of the worst forms of loneliness. So loneliness is a sort of nagging inner sense of something missing, of loss, of lack, of not being seen, of not being connected, not having what we need to fulfill us. There somehow being something wrong with us. Whereas solitude is just an incredibly beautiful, peaceful place of creative flow, connection with all that is. And because I've been quite a reclusive, solitary kind of person for many years of my life, I've been through this transition many times from loneliness to solitude. And, it's like you have to be willing to bear the loneliness for a while before you get to the solitude. It's not always like that with me these days. It's like I can just, solitude is a door that I can walk through quite easily now. But certainly in the past, it's been necessary to endure that sense of lack before I really fully make that connection with the inner self where all the fullness resides. So we have this opportunity at the moment with the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown, where we are being obliged to stay inside, to self-isolate, to spend more time on our own or with our nearest who live with us. But for many of us, that means on our own, thrown back onto our own resources, not able to wander, not able to escape, not able to go out and gather experiences from the outside, not able to make those connections, but spending more time in here with the self. And for many people, that's uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. And the discomfort of that for many people comes from the fact that there is stuff inside that hasn't been seen and looked at, and which will inevitably arise. So there's a fear of, what am I going to find when I sit with myself, when I spend time with myself, when I let go of the distractions. That's what sitting with death is about, really. It's about sitting with whatever is arising from within, letting go, consciously letting go of the distractions, choosing to be here now within the body with whatever is arising through the emotions, through the heart. And you may find that what is present for you, along with the grief, is this sense of emptiness, of something missing, of lack, of not being enough. Because for most people, this sense of not being enough is like the core wound that's at their heart, or the soul of our conditioned being. And in order to get to the treasures of the essential self, the authentic self, the deeper self, we need to cut our way through this briar patch of unworthiness and get to know it so that we can make conscious choices around it. You know, is this actually true? Is it actually true that I'm not enough? Is it actually true that I'm not worthy? Is it actually true that I'm missing something, that I'm lacking something? Or do I really have everything I need? And one of the things I've been noticing, you know, through the 5 or 6 weeks of the lockdown, however long it's been, is that the more that I'm sitting in this place of stillness, just being, resting, being, relaxing, being silent, that I have this overflowing sense of abundance just from what's here, right here on my doorstep. That the more present we become with the self, the more beauty and gifts we find, we discover in the most ordinary aspects of life. The way that the flowers are, the green shoots are coming up through the earth. The way the sun passes across the sky. The clouds. The food. I've been finding that the food, you know, because I'm not going shopping so much and things don't feel quite so available, that everything I eat is just really delicious. And so this state of inner emptiness that I'm talking about is transforming that sense of lack into a sense of abundance and fullness. And it isn't about the fact that anything on the outside has changed. It's that you are suddenly seeing things differently. You're seeing from a different perspective. It's like you, on this side of the glass, you see it's half empty. You walk around and you see it's half full. On this side, you see that emptiness is something bad. You walk around and suddenly you're discovering that emptiness is really beautiful. So we have the opportunity right now to journey through our emptiness to this place of inner fullness, inner abundance, inner giftedness. Which is actually the beginning of a new culture. Because if you imagine this, you know, stepping out into the world from a place, oh, I'm missing, I'm lacking something, there's something wrong with me. I don't have what I need. I've got to go and look for what I need. I've got to find what I need in other people. How you would walk through the world in that way, from that place, that perspective. And how you would walk out into the world knowing that you are more than enough, that you are full, that you are full of gifts. You are abundant. That you have everything you need. Everything you need is here. And if it's not here right now, then it will come. If it's really what you need, it will come. Magic happens. Synchronicities happen. When you're aligned with your authentic, essential, sovereign self, with your true purpose, with your soul. And that's what this process of grieving well is about. It's about emptying out what is not really ours, emptying out the alien beliefs, the misguided concept, the old philosophies, the old perspectives, emptying all that out, examining it maybe first before you throw it away. When I clean out my closets, I don't just get everything in a great pile and put it in a bag. I take everything out and I look at it and I decide, do I want to keep this or not? If I don't want to keep it, I throw it away. If I do want to keep it, I find a place for it. So in the psychological sense, what you're doing in the grieving process is you're looking at everything that's here inside of you. You're saying, okay, do I really want to keep this? Does this fit the person that I am becoming? Does this fit with my higher values? Is this who I want to be? Is this an old belief that I don't need anymore? It's not even true for me anymore. Is this an old philosophy? And if it's old and it doesn't have any use and in your life anymore and it doesn't fit who you are, it's too tight, Too clingy, throw it out. And when you throw it out, you're going to create more space. And if you keep throwing things out, then you're going to create an empty space, a beautiful, simple, empty space. So I'm inviting you to enjoy stepping into the emptiness, enjoy stepping into the spaciousness, the simplicity of who you truly are. Thank you.